Did you know that your rice cooker can do way more than just cook rice? If you're like me, you probably don't always have time to cook big, healthy meals from scratch, or deal with a sink full of pots and pans afterwards. That's why I love using my rice cooker to make wholesome, balanced meals with almost no effort. You don't need any special equipment or cooking skills, just a simple, everyday rice cooker. It's foolproof, hands-off, and perfect for beginners or anyone who just wants to eat well without spending hours in the kitchen. All you do is dump your ingredients in, press start, and let the rice cooker do all the work. In less than 30 minutes, you'll have a warm, home-cooked meal that's satisfying, nourishing, and ready to serve. No pans, stress, or mess. Today, I'll be showing you 3 of my favorite one-pot rice cooker meals that are quick, convenient, and packed with flavor, all made with simple, affordable ingredients that you might already have at home. Each one has a good balance of grains, protein, and veggies, so you're getting a complete meal with barely any effort. Letting my rice cooker do all the work and cooking my meals also allows me to take a few minutes for myself, and sometimes I like to spend that playing a relaxing game. That brings me to the sponsor of today's video, June's Journey. June's Journey is a hidden object mystery game, and as someone who loves solving puzzles, it's right up my alley. Set in the 1920s, you'll play as June Parker, an amateur detective trying to solve her sister's murder and uncover her family's hidden secrets. The main goal is to explore different scenes and find hidden objects that reveal new clues and move the story forward. As you progress through each chapter, you unlock more challenging scenes, meet new characters, and earn rewards you can use to decorate and customize your own island. It's actually fun building it up piece by piece the more you play. There are also special events and seasonal challenges that keep things interesting, so there's always something new to discover. I love that it's both relaxing and engaging. The artwork is gorgeous, the puzzles are fun, and it's the perfect way to unwind while your meal cooks. It's such a nice little escape while I wait. You can download June's Journey for free using the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen. It's available on iOS, Android, and PC. Thanks again to June's Journey for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into the recipes. Once you understand the basics, you can make almost any meal in one pot, just by following a simple formula made up of 5 key ingredients: grains, liquid, seasonings, vegetables, and protein. Each recipe makes about 2 servings, but they're easy to scale up if you're cooking a larger batch. For grains, I usually use about 1 cup of rice. You can use any kind you like, whether it's white or brown, short or long grain. Or for more variety, you can switch it up with quinoa or even couscous for a more Mediterranean vibe. For the liquid, use roughly 1 cup of water or broth for every cup of grain. Using chicken or vegetable broth instead of water will infuse the rice with a deeper, richer flavor. This 1-to-1 ratio works great for white rice, but for brown rice or quinoa, add a little extra liquid and cook slightly longer. Or just use your rice cooker's preset settings if it has one. For seasonings, you can mix in pretty much anything. Your favorite sauces, spices, cooking oils, or minced garlic. Whatever you like to give the rice an extra boost of flavor. For vegetables, I like adding around 1 cup of a variety of chopped veggies for both nutrition and texture. You can use fresh, canned, or frozen, whatever you have on hand. And for protein, I usually go with about half a cup, whether that's diced chicken, tofu, beans, or seafood like salmon. The rice cooker can handle cooking all of these, even if they're raw. Just cut any larger pieces of meat into smaller chunks so they cook through evenly. When it comes to equipment, all we need is a simple rice cooker. Today I'll be using the simple 3-cup rice cooker which cooks using a simple switch. This one from Aroma is affordable, easy to use, and gives consistent results with a capacity of 3 cups of dry rice or 6 cups of cooked rice, but any rice cooker will work. If you're interested, I've included a link to this cooker in the video description below. Now for our first recipe, we've got a delicious vegetable fried rice, or rather it's a no-fry version that's made entirely in the rice cooker. First, we're going to need 1 cup, or roughly 190 grams of white rice that's been thoroughly rinsed. I'm using long grain jasmine rice here, but you can use short or medium grain if you prefer a stickier texture. For accuracy, I'm measuring with a standard US cup here, and not the measuring cup that comes with your rice cooker. To our rinsed rice, let's add 1 cup of liquid. Here I'm using low sodium chicken broth for a more flavorful rice, but you can use water instead if you prefer. Then for our seasonings, in a small bowl, combine 1.5 tablespoons of light soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of oyster sauce, half a teaspoon of sesame oil, 1 minced clove of fresh garlic, half a teaspoon of sugar, and a pinch of ground black pepper. As an optional step, you can also add in half a teaspoon of fish sauce for an extra boost of flavor. Give that a quick mix, and then pour it into the pot and stir it in with the rice and liquid. Next, we're going to add roughly 1 cup of vegetables. Here I'm using a 1/4 cup of frozen peas, a 1/4 cup of frozen corn, a 1/4 cup of diced carrots, and a 1/4 cup of chopped onions. These are some of the classic veggies you'll often find in fried rice dishes, but you can use whatever you like. Then for protein, I'm going to be using roughly half a cup or 100 grams of extra firm tofu that I've cut into small cubes. If using tofu, make sure it's extra firm which holds its shape. Or you can also use other protein like diced chicken, ham, or shrimp here if you prefer. Let's then place our pot in our rice cooker, cover it with a lid, and press the button to start cooking. This will take about 25 to 30 minutes but will vary depending on your rice cooker. Now after about 10 to 15 minutes while it's in the middle of cooking, I'm going to remove the lid and add in one large beaten egg that I've seasoned with salt and pepper. We can then cover it with the lid to let it finish cooking. Once the indicator pops up to let us know it's done cooking, remove the lid and fluff the rice gently with a spatula to mix everything together. Then I'm going to finish this off with some chopped green onions, some toasted sesame seeds, and drizzle an extra splash of sesame oil mixed with some soy sauce for a boost of flavor and aroma. And that's it! This veggie fried rice is super easy and delicious. It might not be stir-fried in the traditional way, but it definitely doesn't lack flavor. It's fluffy, savory, and packed with veggies and tofu, with the convenience of being made all in one pot with the press of a button. It's quick, balanced with grains, protein, and veggies, and a great way to use up any leftovers you have during the week. And if you like a little bit of heat, you can finish it off with a drizzle of sriracha or chili oil. You can store the rice in an airtight container in the fridge for about 3 to 4 days, or in the freezer for up to 2 months. Just thaw overnight and reheat whenever you're ready to enjoy it. Next up, we're making a hearty chicken burrito bowl inspired by a classic Mexican style rice, but cooked entirely in the rice cooker. Into our pot, let's start with 1 cup of long grain white rice that's been thoroughly rinsed, and then add a 3/4 cup of chicken broth with a 1/4 cup of salsa, or you can also use tomato paste. Together, this will give us a savory and tomatoey liquid base. For our seasonings, in a small bowl, combine 1.5 teaspoons of chili powder, half a teaspoon of cumin, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Give this a quick mix. Or to simplify things, you can swap out all of these ingredients for just 1 tablespoon of taco seasoning if you wish. Let's add this to our pot and give everything a good stir until well mixed. Then we're going to add in our mix-ins. I'm going to use 1/3 cup of rinsed canned black beans, a 1/4 cup of frozen corn, a 1/4 cup of diced red bell peppers, and a 1/4 cup of diced onions. For our protein, let's add roughly half a cup or 150 grams of diced raw chicken breast, or your choice of protein. And if you'd like, you can season the chicken with salt and pepper or marinate it beforehand. Let's then place our pot in our rice cooker, add our lid, and press the button to start cooking, about 25 to 30 minutes depending on your rice cooker. When it's done, remove the lid and fluff gently with a spatula to mix everything together. When serving, I'm finishing this off with some chopped cilantro, sliced cherry tomatoes, a squeeze of lime, some creamy sliced avocado, and a sprinkle of cheese or Greek yogurt. And that's it! This chicken burrito bowl is bold, hearty, and packed full of Mexican-style flavor in every grain of rice. Kind of like a Chipotle bowl, but way easier to make and customize to your tastes. Each bite has a perfect balance of grains, veggies, and protein, and as you can see, the chicken comes out tender and juicy every time. This is also perfect for meal prep if you want to make a larger batch. It reheats beautifully and stays moist and flavorful even the next day. For our last recipe, we're making a Japanese-style salmon rice bowl with a sweet and spicy gochujang sauce. This one is creamy, cozy, and packed with umami flavor. Let's start by adding 1 cup of short or medium grain rice that we've thoroughly rinsed. The shorter grain will give us a sticky sushi rice kind of texture. Then I'm going to add 1 cup of vegetable broth, or you can use water if you prefer. For our seasonings, add in 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, half a teaspoon of sesame oil, and half a teaspoon of rice vinegar if you have it. Totally optional, but it adds a nice tangy brightness. Give this a stir to mix with the rice and liquid. Then for our protein, I'm using 1 fresh salmon fillet, about 150 grams that I've seasoned with salt and pepper. I'm then going to add roughly half a cup of shelled edamame, a 1/4 cup of diced carrots, a 1/4 cup of frozen corn, and 2 tablespoons of chopped green onions to surround the salmon in the pot. Again, you can use whatever vegetables you like. Let's place the pot inside our rice cooker, cover with the lid, and let the rice cooker do its magic. About 25 to 30 minutes later when it's ready, the salmon should look perfectly cooked, tender, juicy, and opaque in the center. You can also check with a thermometer to make sure it's reached 145 degrees Fahrenheit. If it hasn't, just close the lid and cook for another 5 minutes. Then we can grab a fork or spatula and flake the salmon right into the rice, breaking it up and mixing it all together so that each spoonful gives you a perfect bite of rice, veggies, and tender salmon. Now you could enjoy it just like this if you want to keep it simple, or elevate it with a drizzle of Japanese Kewpie mayo, toasted sesame seeds, roasted seaweed flakes, and some sliced green onions. But if you really want to take the flavor up a notch, trust me, you have to try this with a delicious gochujang sauce. Gochujang is a Korean chili paste that you can find in most Asian grocery stores. It's thick, a little spicy, and slightly sweet. And if you've ever had bibimbap, it's the same sauce that's often used in it, so it adds that same kind of bold, comforting heat. To make the sauce, combine 2 tablespoons of gochujang, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, half a tablespoon of rice vinegar, half a tablespoon of honey, and 1 minced garlic clove. If you find it's too thick, you can add a splash of water to loosen it up, or a little extra gochujang if you want it richer and thicker. Then just drizzle as much as you like over the rice for that bibimbap style finish, or mix the sauce right in so every grain is coated in that delicious sweet and spicy flavor. And that's it! This salmon rice bowl is rich, comforting, and packed with umami flavor. One of those simple meals that feels indulgent but takes barely any effort. I like to enjoy this straight up as a rice bowl, or serve it with roasted seaweed sheets for scooping and wrapping into little snack bites. Either way, it's the perfect comfort meal to wind down with at the end of the day. And there you have it, 3 simple rice cooker meals that are super easy to make, all made with simple everyday ingredients and just 1 pot to clean. Hopefully this shows you just how much your rice cooker can really do. It's not just for rice, but great for complete, balanced meals with grains, veggies, and even protein, all cooked effortlessly with the press of a button. These are great everyday options for a quick lunch or dinner, a super easy way to meal prep, and endlessly customizable to suit your tastes or use up any leftovers you have at home. If you give any of these a try or come up with your own rice cooker recipes, share them in the comments below, I'd love to hear them. And again, a quick shout out to June's Journey for sponsoring this video. You can download it for free using the link below or the QR code on screen. Until next time, thanks for watching. If you'd like to watch more, click here for another video. And if you enjoy my content, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.